Anchored putters were completely banned from professional golf in 2016, and it ended careers overnight. Adam Scott had won the Masters in 2013 using a long putter anchored against his chest, but suddenly that technique was illegal. The USGA and R&A decided that bracing the putter against your body provided an unfair advantage by creating a pendulum motion that was too stable. Keegan Bradley, who won the 2011 PGA Championship with an anchored putter, had to completely relearn his putting stroke. His putting statistics dropped dramatically after the ban took effect. Webb Simpson, another major champion who used the anchored method, struggled for years to find consistency with a conventional putter. The rule change was announced in 2013, but didn't take effect until January 1, 2016, giving players 3 years to adjust. Many players considered the ban discriminatory since the technique had been legal for decades. Square grooves got outlawed in 2010, and it changed professional golf forever. These U-shaped grooves grabbed the ball and created massive spin, especially from thick rough. Phil Mickelson was furious about this change because his entire short game was built around maximum spin control. The old grooves allowed players to hit aggressive shots from anywhere on the course, knowing they could stop the ball quickly on the green. The USGA said this made the game too easy for professionals and reduced the penalty for missing fairways. The new V-shaped grooves reduced spin by approximately 20% from rough lies. Equipment manufacturers had to completely redesign their iron sets, costing millions in research and development. Players like Sergio Garcia and Luke Donald, who relied heavily on spin, had to fundamentally change their approach shots. The transition period lasted 2 years, but the impact was immediate and permanent. The Polara golf ball was designed to fly straighter by automatically correcting hooks and slices, and the USGA banned it immediately. This ball had different dimple patterns on each hemisphere that used aerodynamics to reduce side spin and keep shots flying straighter. Recreational golfers loved it because it made the game significantly easier, reducing their worst shots by up to 75%. The USGA ruled it violated the skill and challenge principle that's fundamental to golf. The company behind Polara argued that it helped beginners enjoy the game more, but governing bodies said it removed too much skill from the equation. Legal battles lasted for years, with Polara claiming the ban was anti-competitive. Today, you can still buy Polara balls for casual play, but they're completely illegal in any sanctioned competition. The controversy highlighted the ongoing debate about how much technology should be allowed in golf. If you're loving this video, subscribe now and help us hit 10,000 golf fans by month's end. Rangefinders were banned from professional golf for decades until very recently. Players had to rely entirely on yardage books, course markers, and their caddy's knowledge to judge distances. The PGA Tour finally allowed distance measuring devices in 2021, but with strict limitations. They can measure straight line distance but cannot account for slope, wind conditions, or provide any other data. Interestingly, most professional players still don't use them because their caddies are so precise with yardages and course management. The European Tour and many other professional circuits still ban them completely. The debate continues about whether this technology helps or hurts the traditional skills of golf. Amateur tournaments can choose whether to allow rangefinders, creating inconsistency across different levels of play. Denim jeans have been banned from golf courses and tournaments for decades, but the enforcement became legendary. John Daly famously showed up to a tournament wearing jeans and was told he couldn't play until he changed clothes. The dress code extends far beyond just denim. Cargo shorts, tank tops, athletic shorts, and collarless shirts were all prohibited at most professional venues. Tiger Woods was once asked to change his mock turtleneck because it didn't have a traditional collar. The Masters has the strictest dress code in golf, requiring collared shirts even for spectators in certain areas of the course. These rules exist to maintain golf's traditional image and upscale atmosphere, but they've also been criticized for being exclusionary and outdated. Some modern courses have relaxed these rules, but professional tournaments maintain strict standards. Cell phones faced complete bans in professional golf for years. Players couldn't use phones, music players, or any electronic communication devices during competitive rounds. The rule was so strict that players received penalties even if their phones rang while stored in their golf bags. Rory McIlroy was once penalized when his phone went off during a tournament round, even though he never touched it. In 2021, some tours started allowing extremely limited phone use during practice rounds only, but never during competition. Spectators still cannot use phones in most tournament areas. Devices must be on silent or turned off completely. The Masters famously confiscate all phones at the entrance gates. Social media posts during competitive rounds can result in immediate disqualification. The ban exists to maintain concentration and prevent any form of outside assistance or communication. If you're loving this video, subscribe now and help us hit 10,000 golf fans by month's end. Golf carts were banned from professional tournaments, leading to one of the most famous legal cases in sports history. Casey Martin had a rare circulatory disorder called Klippel-Trenaunay-Weber syndrome that made walking 18 holes extremely painful and potentially dangerous. The PGA Tour initially refused to let him use a cart, arguing that walking was an essential part of competition. Martin sued under the Americans with Disabilities Act, and the case went all the way to the Supreme Court in 2001. The court ruled 7-2 that the ADA required the tour to accommodate Martin's disability. This landmark decision opened the door for other medical accommodations in professional sports. However, each case is still reviewed individually, and carts remain banned for able-bodied players. The ruling established that reasonable accommodations don't fundamentally alter the nature of competition. Training aid devices are banned from tournament play, even though they're legal on practice ranges. Weighted clubs, alignment sticks, swing trainers, and tempo devices cannot be used during competitive rounds. Players can use them extensively during practice sessions, but must remove all training aids before teeing off in competition. Some training devices that attach to regular clubs are banned entirely because they alter the club's original specifications. The rule prevents players from receiving artificial assistance during actual competition. Caddies cannot carry any training aids in their bags during tournament rounds. Violation of this rule results in immediate disqualification from the event. The distinction between practice and competition equipment maintains the integrity of tournament play. Casino chips represent the complete gambling ban that exists in professional golf. The PGA Tour has absolute zero tolerance for any gambling or betting on golf events by players, caddies, or officials. Players cannot even participate in fantasy golf leagues that involve tour events they're competing in. Several caddies have been suspended for betting on tournaments, even ones they weren't involved in. The ban extends to family members and close associates who might have inside information. In 2022, multiple caddies were suspended after betting violations were discovered through financial monitoring systems. Penalties include substantial fines, suspensions, and potential lifetime bans from the sport. The rule exists to protect the absolute integrity of competition and prevent any possibility of match fixing or insider information being used for gambling purposes. Coach whistles represent the coaching ban that existed in professional golf until very recently. Players couldn't receive advice from anyone except their caddy during competition rounds. Hand signals, written notes, and verbal communication from coaches were all strictly prohibited. Parents, swing coaches, and other team members had to remain completely silent during a tournament play. The European Tour began allowing limited coaching in 2018, but the PGA Tour maintained the ban until 2024. Now, players can receive coaching during practice rounds and between holes in very specific situations. The rule change was extremely controversial because it altered golf's traditional nature as an individual sport. Many veteran players still prefer the old system and refuse coaching even when it's allowed. Metal spikes were banned from most golf courses by the 1990s because they severely damaged greens and tee boxes. The old steel spikes left deep marks and tears in the grass that took weeks to heal properly. Soft spikes became mandatory almost everywhere, but even some of those designs were later banned if they were too aggressive. Course superintendents pushed for the change because metal spikes were destroying playing surfaces faster than they could be repaired. The Masters requires specific types of soft spikes and actually inspects players' shoes before tournament rounds. Some exclusive courses now ban spikes entirely, requiring only spikeless golf shoes. The evolution of spike rules followed advances in shoe technology and modern course maintenance practices. If you're loving this video, subscribe now and help us hit 10,000 golf fans by month's end. PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs, face strict bans in professional golf through comprehensive testing programs. The PGA Tour tests for steroids, stimulants, and other banned substances throughout the season. Beta blockers, which could potentially steady nerves and reduce anxiety, are specifically prohibited. Players need therapeutic use exemptions for certain prescription medications that might contain banned substances. Positive tests result in suspensions, substantial fines, and public disclosure of the violation. The testing program expanded significantly after other professional sports faced major doping scandals. Even over-the-counter supplements can contain banned substances, so players must be extremely careful about everything they consume. The program maintains golf's reputation for clean competition. Artificial turf was banned from all professional tournament venues to ensure consistent playing conditions. Synthetic greens, even the highest quality ones available, cannot be used in any sanctioned professional events. The rule ensures that all players face identical natural grass conditions and maintains traditional golf course standards. Some practice facilities use artificial surfaces for durability, but tournament play requires natural grass exclusively. The ban extends to temporary greens that might be installed during course maintenance or weather-related issues. Weather-related exceptions are extremely rare and require specific tour approval. The rule preserves the traditional challenge of reading natural grass conditions and grain patterns. Catty flags represent the banned behaviors that caddies cannot perform during tournament play. Caddies are prohibited from lining up players for shots. They must move completely away before any swing is made. They cannot test green surfaces by rolling balls or checking firmness in any way. Physical assistance beyond carrying clubs and providing yardages is strictly forbidden. Caddies were banned from using electronic devices until very recent rule changes allowed limited technology. They cannot provide coaching beyond basic yardages and general course management advice. Violations result in penalties assessed to the player, not just the caddy. These rules maintain the individual nature of golf competition. Analyzer devices that measure swing metrics are banned from competitive play entirely. Electronic devices that track swing speed, tempo, club path, or any other swing data cannot be used during tournament rounds. Players can use these extensively during practice sessions but must remove all electronic analyzers before competition begins. The ban prevents artificial assistance and maintains traditional shot-making skills and feel. Some training devices that attach to clubs are banned completely because they alter equipment specifications. Wearable technology that provides swing feedback is also prohibited during competition. The rule continues to evolve as technology advances, but the principle remains that players cannot receive electronic assistance during tournament play. Course tools represent the ban on temporary modifications that could favor certain players or playing styles. Golf courses cannot make changes to rough heights, pin positions, or hazard locations during tournament weeks without tour approval. Artificial obstacles, temporary hazards, or course alterations are strictly prohibited once competition begins. The setup must remain consistent for all players throughout the entire event. Groundskeeping equipment cannot be used to alter playing conditions between rounds. These rules ensure completely fair competition and prevent any course manipulation that might benefit some players over others. The integrity of professional golf depends on every competitor facing identical challenges and conditions. That's every major banned thing in professional golf. From equipment that ended careers to rules that fundamentally changed how the game is played, these bans shaped modern professional golf into what we see today. Some were controversial and fought in court, others were necessary for fair competition, but all of them remind us that golf's governing bodies take the integrity and tradition of the game extremely seriously. If you love this video, subscribe now and help us hit 10,000 golf fans by month's end.